Alright, so I was debating if I wanted to do this video or combine it with the last one after looking at this, but we're going to do another video here. So apparently, Thor responded to the video I just reacted to, and now this is a response to Thor, who is Pirate Software, and I wanted to react to this because, honestly, Thor had a brain-dead take on Stop Killing Games at any point to make more fun of him for being absolutely retarded in his take is a great view for me. Honestly, you know that I love to do that, and I like being involved. So, here we go.
Most of you have noticed over the last 10 or 11 months I've been a lot happier. Glowing, really, radiant. You can tell probably just from my voice alone and this striking smile. So what is the secret to this newfound happiness of mine? The one trick doctors don't want you to know? I haven't been online as much. I've been going outside far more frequently, spending time in the real world. And as such, I'm sure many of you have noticed over the last 10 or 11 months, internet drama hasn't been a huge focal point of the channel because I haven't seen a whole bunch of it. I haven't kept up with the vast majority of it. And of course, occasionally I've still dipped my tootsies in some of it, like if there's something particularly wacky going on, and I still cover like news and crazy shit going on with aliens and all of that kind of thing, or if there's like a really cringe, prankster.
Dude, aliens are real. Anyone who doesn't think aliens aren't real have lost their mind. Have they landed on our planet? Probably, but they're at least real because we live in a huge universe. Like, there's no way they don't exist.
That got arrested or something, I'll still talk about that. But it's not like a fixation for me like it used to be over the last few years where I was covering any and all internet creator space hoopla. And I want to keep it that way. I'm having a lot more fun not doing that. That being said, there is something that has unfolded here that's like the John Wick killing the dog moment that's bringing me back, just very temporarily. And it's Pirate Software. Yesterday I talked about Stop Killing Games. And there's no way to talk about Stop Killing Games without also mentioning Pirate Software because of the profound effect he has had on that initiative in its demise. I say demise, but it's not actually fully cooked, but it has been on life support, and Pirate Software did play a big role in that because of 2 videos he made, as well as a stream, shitting all over it. And that's not even doing it justice. He was full-blown tooting on this. He was shitting on it with some fart on top. And a lot of what he was saying about Stop Killing Games wasn't accurate. It was a misrepresentation of the initiative.
He was lying. He just lied about it. He's a liar. He lied. That or he's a moron. It's either he's a liar or arrogant.
And the guy behind it, the guy spearheading it, Ross, finally set the record straight on a lot of the misconceptions that Pirate Software helped to put out there and kind of exacerbate these thought processes that just weren't accurate for what the initiative was actually aiming to do. He finally set the record straight, and I, of course, wanted to talk about it as someone who does actually care about it. Now, as I've said, I've been a little more off the grid. I bought a fucking farm, so I've been, living off the Lord's land recently, and I've missed a lot of the internet happenings. So Pirate Software's previous anime arcs of drama, like with World of Warcraft, and the one after that, 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 I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to. I only got little tiddlywinks, little morsels of lore about it in a few clips, so I never really even understood what was going on there. So Pirate Software's response to everything that happened yesterday really caught me by surprise. That was a subversion of my expectations, bigger than Game of Thrones Season 8.
Yeah, Hutcher, I did. I think it's really hilarious to me that that entire community is so butt mad at me for putting out a video 10 months ago about their stuff and then not being refuted, and now it's my fault that everything is going wrong for them.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of...
What an ass. That is an ass thing to say. Like, I listened to a few conversations with Doran, and he just sounds like a complete dick to everyone.
Control. I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin. And that's the truth, cause Pirate Software said so. Some shit like that. It's crazy how he's responded. The smugness is nails on a chalkboard. It just makes you feel icky listening to it. And he goes on, that same
Moist is
talking point
completely right
multiple
here.
times in the clip about how, like, oh, I guess I'm fully to blame. I guess because I made those videos 10 months ago, it's my fault entirely that this whole thing crashed and burned. Yep. Oh boy. Time to play a sad song on the world's smallest violin for the Stop Killing Games movement, all because Big Bad Pirate Software took it all down by himself. Like, it's crazy. No one's saying that. Like, there is no one out there that is saying it is entirely Pirate Software's fault that Stop Killing Games hasn't been more successful in its endeavors. But there's
Large
irrefutable evidence that you had a detrimental effect, a majorly damaging effect on Stop Killing Games because of your misinformation that you spread about it in 2 videos and across all your streams, and not once have you bothered to correct that record. And he has said that it hasn't been refuted in 10 months. That is fish paste. That is turbo horseradish. Go to your own comment section on your videos to see everyone refuting you, as well as the innumerable other gamers and voices out there that have taken down those talking points and debunked a lot of them and proven that you just didn't understand it. And that is the big problem. No one hates Pirate Software because he doesn't agree with Stop Killing Games. The reason so many people are angry at him, myself
Because he's
included here,
lying.
you can disagree with the movement all you want. If you don't like the initiative, I'm not your fucking dad. You make your own choices there. But the reason so many people, myself included, do not like how Pirate Software is handling all this is he is outright refusing to just admit any level of fault, that he was wrong.
He should apologize. Not just that he's wrong. He needs a public apology because it wasn't just being moron. I think Pirate Software did this maliciously. He needs to apologize to not only his community, but the people that surround him.
About anything. And that couldn't be more clear from these clips as well as his tweets that he's made. It's actually his tweets that really sent me off the fucking rails here, off my gourd. Let's start with this little nugget here that he deleted from last
haven't
night.
read
So
this
he
yet.
tweeted
Let's
directly at Ross, the guy behind Stop Killing Games, talking about how he made those videos 10 months ago, and since then, his community has been nothing but hateful. A scourge. A fucking tyrannid threat that he must destroy. Your community is fucking rabid, and it's shit to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Why do you think I haven't talked about this shit in 10 months? Why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat? Because it's been rage bait and shit-flinging the entire time. And just goes on about, like, how he has been rage bait and
I want to read this. Sup, Accused Farms. I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative 10 months ago. We haven't talked about it since. Now that your initiative has failed, you're blaming me in a 33 of the hour-long video covering it. Your community is forcing shit onto our stream, social, and hate messages that you deserve, by the way. He deserves all of that. Do more. Go do more. Do more of that. He deserves it. Since you're set on cutting up my responses, pieces, unhinged, going to drop. He wasn't unhinged. He was very polite about it. In fact, he waited 10 months to even respond. To show the actual contesters a massive pinned fact on the first video, you can read through my reasoning. Except the first video that you made on it was a lie, so everything you're sending here is a lie and misinformation to more misinformation and lying about it, which just makes you more of an ass. To quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying. The only engagement I've seen on the level-headed has been from Louis Rossman. His video breaks down what I dislike and tried to meet me in the middle with the conversation that made sense. I engaged with him on that video, screenshot below. Define talking to the people level-headed about this. We can have a conversation, but real dude, every time you've been involved with your outward turn to toxic, it silly sets me off. Your community is your community? So he's calling the people an audience. That's probably part of his community. His audience. I hate Hassan Piker. But if you're part of Hassan Piker's community, I don't hate you. Do I disagree with your takes? Sure. But I would never hate you. Nor do I hate Pirate Software's community. I don't give a rat's balls if I get harassed by any community. People harass me and send me garbage all the time. We talk about it on streams all the time. Okay? If they're gonna be insane, let them be insane. So freaking what? So what? This is calling a community fucking rabid. Embarrassment. You're a grown adult. Get over yourself.
shit flinging the.
What do you think I haven't talked 10 months? Why do you think auto-mute? Auto-mute, muting someone about this topic is a pussy move. Been rage baiting the shit flinging entire. No, I do a lot of rage baiting on my social medias. It's kind of what I like to do, you know, blue sky and stuff. But it's because you're too much of a pussy to take it. In fact, when you talked to Asmongold, I believe you apologized and you said sorry for talking and being with him. So, PirateSoftware, more like no backbone software. Yeah. He couldn't even stand up for his friend. Little bitch maneuver. He would apologize for that, but can't apologize for this. Embarrassing. I mean, it's not even like the take. He thinks he's being manly about not apologizing, but not apologizing makes him less manly, and it's just embarrassing. Community stir up support. I still disagree with your movement for all the reasons I stated. Oh, all the lies you stated. It's all the lies. That's right. That's unlikely to change at this point. More than fine with that.
The entire time. And just goes on about like how he is the victim of Ross's toxic, terrible community, which is hilariously hypocritical coming from PirateSoftware, when in his videos and his streams, he makes it very clear and is very rude about how much he dislikes not only Ross, but the movement. And it's not like he's being very professional and polite about it, you know, buttoned up. Listen to it.
So this was my first encounter of him.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful.
Ass maneuver, ass behavior. I know people don't like me to bring up, you know, how I feel about it, but you shouldn't do this as a intermediate meeting with someone. I never spoke to them. We're not on the same level. I'm not as popular as them. I can say whatever the hell I want. But these two, they're on the same playing field. Co-workers, you could say. And making fun of a co-worker wouldn't fly anywhere, would it?
That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I dropped the mask.
He's an ass. See, I don't think everyone's an ass. I give people the benefit of the doubt if you ever been on my stream. This man is completely toxic about every little thing that he sees here because he's naturally an ass. And there's a difference between an ass and a jackass. Okay, he's an ass. Alright? I like to call it ass. Cougar, who comes on my stream, is a jackass. Now, jackasses are different because they're naturally asses, but they're actually really good, nice people on the inside. Cougar's a friend of mine. Is he a jackass? Yeah, he's mean about everything. But I wouldn't do streams without him. This guy is an ass just to be an ass. Not natural, just an ass.
Entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Ross and his community that are actually the assholes here. Brother, come on, you can't possibly be calling the wambulance with a side of french fries here about people being mean to you when you are literally the one that started the shit-flinging and name-calling. And by the way, Ross never even addressed this for 10 months because he didn't want to dilute the initiative into just having it be boiled down to drama between creators, which I think was actually very big of him. The only reason he's talking about it now is because it's at the end of its life, and so many people still don't understand it because of someone like PirateSoftware misrepresenting it, so he's finally setting the record straight there. Anyway, he did delete that tweet, but just a little while ago, he made a new tweet, a very long tweet, as well as a series of tweets under it, in regards to this whole thing. And in all these words, all this mumbo-jumbo, not once does he say he was wrong about anything. In fact, he just continues to double down, even proudly stating he is doubling down. Wow, how incredibly noble, doubling down on things you are provably...
I'm not reading all this. Wait, he's a prick. Alright? He has ruined his credibility, and I will forever know him, and anyone else that's probably been around will forever know him as a prick. He's a prick. That's it. End of story.
Blatantly wrong about. We don't need to hit the Jumbotron for the replay on yesterday's video going over so many of the things that he was incorrect about in regards to the initiative, but the point is, that is an issue that I really thought that he would address. Be like, hey, yeah, I did get this part wrong. You're right, guys. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to misrepresent it. I still don't fully agree with it, but I do recognize that I had some errors here in my coverage. That's what I was expecting. That is not what we got. And it prompted me to reach out directly to him, to talk to him, to see, like, why isn't he acknowledging that? Is there a reason? Like, what is going on there? So I did. He made it very clear he was not very happy with my coverage of Stop Killing Games, which is fine. I think that's totally fine. I'm not going to leak DMs or really go in depth on our private conversation, but the point of me reaching out to him was to talk about his refusal to acknowledge that he did, maybe unintentionally, misrepresent Stop Killing Games, and it led to a just shy of 2 hours, like, circular argument that ultimately got us nowhere. He was more focused on his qualms with Stop Killing Games and really liked to challenge me to prove him wrong about some of his hang-ups with it. And when I would mention, like, the behavior aspect, like, hey, you did misrepresent it, and I'd give him a timestamp, he'd then instead say how I'm wrong for thinking that he misrepresented it. We got nowhere. So I want to just publicly say this again. There are plenty of things you can disagree with when it comes to the Stop Killing Games initiative. I'll put links to it if you want to learn more about it, and you can form your own opinions on it if you want to support it. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's super normal. And I didn't reach out to try and champion that PirateSoftware should become, you know, a huge ambassador of Stop Killing Games, you know, out there on the fucking front lines fighting for it. It had nothing to do with that. It was simply about the misunderstanding that he showcased, maybe unintentionally, and the misrepresentation of it. That
I think there's no way he did it unintentionally. I think he purposely misunderstood it to be a dick. Someone with that level of development, like coding and video games and such, could not misunderstand what the initiative was trying to do. I think he was purposely trying to sabotage it. Absolutely. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
That he broadcast, again, maybe unintentionally, which has in turn, over the course of 10 months, misled people on what the fuck Stop Killing Games even is in the first place, which I found to be a problem because he's never even acknowledged that as something that has happened. And because he refuses to acknowledge that, and anyone that even, like, tiptoes around that subject, he kind of treats as though they're fucking idiots, like me, for thinking that he's misrepresented something. Now, he did just post a tweet where he said he talked to me and Josh Strife-Hayes, and in that tweet, this will prove how useless our conversation was, unfortunately, there's not a single peep about misrepresenting what Stop Killing Games was about. It's more so about how the public just doesn't understand game development, and it kind of reads to me like we're all just too stupid to understand it from his side.
I've worked on online games. I've worked on single-player games. I've worked on background code for consoles, like interfaces for them. And I tell you right now, this initiative, I 100% back, and the companies that I used to work for deserve this effect and what's coming to them. And, they're major corporations that don't deserve your sympathy. That should be good enough for anyone, right? I think so. Consumer rights are more important.
Our conversation basically amounted to toilet paper, unfortunately. Again, I was focused on, you have done this, maybe unintentionally, you should at least say that you have, or, like, you know, are you aware that you did this? And then it became more of like, nope, I didn't. You're wrong. And then he uses our conversation at the start of this for something that was not even the focus. I was not there to try and convince him to be part of Stop Killing Games. I don't think we made any ground on, like, his perspective versus mine on Stop Killing Games. He has some qualms about how difficult it would be in certain cases. I agree with that, for sure. I still think overall Stop Killing Games is a net positive for the gaming industry where something desperately needs to change with a lot of these
100%.
awful practices. But for the 10 millionth time in the last 2.5 hours, it was just about him having this awareness that his coverage did mislead people, and that he, maybe not maliciously or anything, misunderstood or misrepresented Stop Killing Games in numerous instances. And the way that he talked about Ross was unacceptable. That at least made it into the tweet there about the way he talked about Ross being like a fucking used car salesman type deal, and like calling everything about it ass. He at least recognized that that was too harsh. So he gave a quick I'm sorry for that, which is good. I do appreciate that, and I'm sure Ross will appreciate that as well, I imagine. But I still wanted to make this video after the conversation because I just really do not understand. I truly cannot wrap my head around why he fights tooth and nail coming for throats for anyone that tries to mention that there was misrepresentation in his coverage of the Stop Killing Games initiative.
Because he can't fathom himself being wrong. He's a know-it-all, and anyone that even questions that his ability is wrong is in the wrong. I believe it's a form of what I like to call, and everyone else calls, narcissism.
He is so hell-bent on proving he's right and everyone else is wrong that's saying these things. I just don't get it. He's just treating it like he's got the mega mind, once-in-a-generation galaxy brain that no one can possibly understand. All us plebeians are beneath him, and we're lucky that he even graces us with streams, and we're stupid for thinking that he did anything wrong here in regards to his coverage of Stop Killing Games and what it's actually about. It's just so odd to me. Because if he would just come out and be like, yeah, you know what? Looking back on it, really reflecting, hearing what you guys are saying, I can see why this was so misleading for so many people. I didn't mean for it to be, and yeah, maybe I misunderstood some of these things. This would not have been nearly as big of a deal as it has turned into. And I went back and looked at some of his previous dramas, I suppose, and that is a common thread with PirateSoftware. Like in World of Warcraft, he made a mistake, but he completely refused to acknowledge the mistake, and it made it a much bigger snowball into an avalanche for him, which led to a ton of other problems. He just has this inability to, like, accept that he can make mistakes. Like, he does things wrong sometimes, and he needs to recognize that it's okay to be like, yeah, I did do that wrong. You're right, I was incorrect in this. And it would save so much of a headache. But he just comes across as a narcissist. He really does, unfortunately.
Exactly what I just said. Dude, I knew Charlie was smart. PirateSoftware and everything I've ever seen with him in it, streams, videos, conversations, discussions, debates, he is a narcissist through and through. He probably looks in the mirror and tells himself he's beautiful. There is no other way to put it. He's a narcissist. And you can't ever have a conversation that gets anywhere with the narcissist.
Like, I'm not an armchair Reddit psychologist here going to diagnose him as a narcissist or anything, but, like, that's what it comes across as. He just refuses to admit that he ever does anything incorrectly. It admits no faults of his own, ever. Except, I suppose, to Ross here, which maybe this is the beginning of a big character development for PirateSoftware. He did apologize to Ross for how he treated him and what he said about him. I think that's great. Would love to see that same kind of energy for understanding where people like myself are coming from with your coverage of Stop Killing Games and why people feel the way they do about what's happened since with your responses. But anyway, I won't keep yapping about it. That's really about it. So yeah, I have no doubt most of you.
All right, yeah, that was a great video. Any point to poke at another person, I like to do. But I completely agree with Charlie here, and I never liked PirateSoftware at any point. Even a longest time ago, 10 months or so, even when I first saw him, I never really enjoyed his content. So, yeah, I have nothing to say. I fully believe he's a narcissist. He can't admit that he's wrong. Points taken. You can call me whatever you want. I really don't care. It's what I believe. Yeah. Anyway, I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.